So you have a wallet that can pay any Bitcoin invoice, can receive Bitcoin from anywhere, cheap, easy, good privacy guarantees, and your trade-off is minimized custodial risk because the custodians could either get pressured or they can act together maliciously, but you need a group of them to do it. So I would say that Fedimints are the single most bullish project I am on any project in Bitcoin right now.
So, speaking of tools that are going to make it convenient for users, let's talk about, well, first, let me read this tweet by Alex Gladstein so you know that I'm not bullshitting. Check this out. He says, "It's hard for me to get more bullish on Bitcoin, but after long discussion on Fedimints with Obi, I'm significantly more bullish. Fedimints could potentially turn many limitations of Bitcoin and Lightning into strengths at scale while slaying megacorps. The synergy is beautiful." So, Matt, you talked to me about this in Austin when I came to visit you. What are Fedimints? Because the reality is, a lot of people are going to be like, "What is this? Why is this important?" And you actually brought up a really good point to me in Austin. You said that the Fedimints were going to help people with. It's not as ideal as custody, but it's better than what people usually do nowadays. Someone goes on Coinbase, stacks Bitcoin, they think they own it, and they leave it there totally cucked to the government. So what is it? What is a Fedimint, Matt Odell?
First of all, when Nico visited me, we ripped a Citadel Dispatch, which is my podcast. So everyone should go listen to that episode because that was a fun rip, and we went at length on fucking Fedimints. There was like analogies with cars and shit. So
yeah, bro. Fucking
consider listening to that.
Guns. Check it out. We'll put it down below, guys.
Look, Fedimints, everything has trade-offs, right? The number one, especially if you're not a technical person, the number one thing you should be looking at when you see people talk about different tools and stuff is what are the trade-offs? And if they're not talking about trade-offs, they're either ignorant or lying to you. Most of them are probably lying to you, intentionally trying to say there are no trade-offs. Fedimint to me is cool because they took a very compelling trade-off balance. And that trade-off balance is you lose some sovereignty because it is custodial. But the way the custody works is you can imagine it like a multi-sig. So rather than a single custodian like a Coinbase or a wallet of Satoshi or a Square, you have, let's say, and it could be any number and any threshold, but let's say you have 16 custodians and you need basically 13 of them to be malicious to take your money, to steal your money. So you make this trade-off where it's like, okay, we're going to do custody, but we're going to minimize the trust in any of the individual custodians because they're in a shared custody model. Okay, why would we do that? Why would we make that trade-off? Well, we make that trade-off because you can have a wallet that is easier to use, that is cheaper to use, and that is more private to use than the alternative in a very convenient package. So you can imagine in practice what Fedimints could provide is this idea of a mobile wallet that you just load it on your phone, open the mobile wallet, choose which federation you want. There'll be a bunch of different federations all around the world. Some will be small community ones, some will be larger ones that are run for profit. There'll be a ton of different federations to choose from. You choose your federation, you load it up with Bitcoin, and then you can pay any Bitcoin invoice, whether that's, a regular Lightning payment, whether that's someone in the Fedimint. If it's someone within your federation, you actually never touch the chain or Lightning. It all happens within the federation for free. So it's a very interesting trade-off balance. And at the end of the day, it offers a very compelling incentive structure, which is your transaction's cheaper and it's easier while still being more private than an alternative transaction that is maybe a self-sovereign transaction or a naive Bitcoin transaction where you're not considering privacy. And the privacy element is because they're using something called Chalmy and Mints, which is an already developed proven technology. Chalmy and Mints means that those custodians, even though they're holding your money, don't know how you're moving your money within the greater custodial wallet, which right now, all of our custodial wallets, like you're not only trusting the custodian with actually holding your funds and not stealing your funds, you're also trusting them with your privacy. They can see every transaction you make. So you have a wallet that can pay any Bitcoin invoice, can receive Bitcoin from anywhere, cheap, easy, good privacy guarantees, and your trade-off is minimized custodial risk because the custodians could either get pressured or they can act together maliciously, but you need a group of them to do it. So I would say that Fedimints are the single most bullish project I am. The single most bullish I am on any project in Bitcoin right now. And I'm really excited to see what those guys build over there. Obi, Eric Sirion, and Justin Moon are the leads. And they're doing really good work. And they're moving way quicker than people thought they were going to move.
I'm excited. excited. I think that this will be a good solution without it being overly complex, right? And it's better. It's not as ideal as self-custody, but it's better than a custodial solution. Anyways, Phil, why don't you chime in, brother?
Not that I have that much to add to this, but Justin Moon, the fact that he's involved, that tells me already that that's something great, because for the people like me who came in, like, let's say, late 2016, 2017, he was definitely one of those Bitcoin accounts that was pure signal. He did like the Bitcoin reading groups. He's one of the people that's, tries to teach others how to code for Bitcoin specifically. So that's awesome. On the topic of Fedimints, though, it sounds like Liquid without Liquid. That's what it sounds like.
Right. So, I mean, first of all, it has better privacy guarantees. But it doesn't really simplify. It has better privacy guarantees than Liquid, because Liquid just has confidential transactions. Charming eCash offers way stronger privacy guarantees. And the biggest pain point of Liquid is moving back and forth from Liquid. So the coolest part about this to me is that it just uses the Bitcoin network. Everything is interoperable with the greater Bitcoin network. So like if you have Liquid Bitcoin, you can't just like open your wallet and pay any Lightning invoice in the world. If you have a Fedimint wallet, you can literally just scan. It doesn't matter if you're paying Moon Wallet, it doesn't matter if you're paying Zeus, it doesn't matter if you're paying Cash App, Strike. You can pay any Lightning invoice in the world. Boom, done. No peg in, no peg out, bullshit. None of that.
So you see that I think is the key right there, that a lot of people don't understand. And this is what we were talking about before. This is the reduction of friction, right? The more we reduce the friction, the easier it is to get people to see the benefits of Bitcoin and what it can do for them in their daily lives or for their businesses. So I do like that, because as you were explaining it, that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, this sounds just like Liquid, but without having to do these pegs, without having to deal with Liquid, which is, to me, always, as soon as we introduce another layer like that, I know that it brings confusion to a lot of the average people. Like most people, when you talk about Bitcoin just as Bitcoin, they, to a no coiner, depending on their technical capability or their understanding, they'll get slightly, they may get lost. But then if you start introducing Lightning, I've had a few noobs think that they're getting a completely different token, and then you have to go and explain to them, no, you don't understand. This is just another layer on top of Bitcoin. There is no new token, so to speak. So it does. Yeah, I like this. I'm interested, a little more interested in Fedimints.
There's a couple other things I just want to add here. First of all, like, it makes Lightning way more accessible. There's no channel management or anything. It'd be like if you're just using Wallet of Satoshi. The second thing is, I noticed with Liquid, first of all, very few people use Liquid. So the question is, why are few people using it? I would say one is the friction. I would say the second thing is the actual Federation members led by Blockstream. I think they feel like they're a regulatory target, because they kind of are. They're known actors running this monetary network, and they don't want to do certain things that maybe anger the beast, like have better privacy tools, right? So like we've never seen like a CoinJoin tool on Liquid, for instance. And I think part of that is because there's just a single Liquid Federation. So I think it's really compelling that the Fedimint project is very focused on making it as easy as possible for anyone to launch a federation. And what that means is we could have the three of us could launch a federation, a bunch of NIMs could launch a federation, a bunch of exchanges can launch a federation, and we're all interoperable with each other, and everyone's choosing based on reputation, uptime, cost. But as a result, it makes it like a huge hydra, where it's like, okay, so if there's going to be regulatory pressure against one federation, then a different federation pops up. Maybe it's in a different jurisdiction. Maybe it's NIMs and they don't even know who's running it, right? But Liquid doesn't benefit from that, partially because my understanding, at least, is that the way to set up a federation, like Blockstream hasn't made it easy for other people to create. Like, why don't we have like 25 Liquid networks, right? But with Fedimint, it's very possible that within a couple of years we could see 50, 200, 300 different federations all offering you different things, but as a result, together they become way more censorship resistant.
Yeah, I'm not a technical guy. I'm more of a geopolitical type of guy, but and Bitcoin's role in that. But I understand the concept, and I'm bullish on more people. It's not as ideal as self-custody, but it is much better than a custodial solution. So that's what I'm bullish for. And then, of course, all the capability it's going to give to Lightning. I'm very
to go back, it almost feels like a Proton mail. It feels like the Proton mail of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like Proton mail has custody of your mail. They can just turn it off at any time, but you have privacy from Proton mail, and you have, if you use it properly, you have privacy from everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like a federated Proton mail to a degree.
Hell yeah. That's what makes me excited. So yeah, man, let's see. And you have you telling me this, you have Gladstein, so you have high profile Bitcoiners that are also saying this. I'm really excited. Called Fedimints. We'll put more information down below.